You've heard of it. People talk about it as if it's a magic trick. The law of assumption, manifestation, the idea that you can think something into existence. But let me ask you, what if this wasn't some whimsical fantasy? What if the power to shape your reality was buried deep inside you all along, just waiting for you to uncover it? Neville Goddard, a mystic who understood the unseen forces shaping our world, once said, "If you would assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled more frequently, you would be master of your fate." But what does that really mean? Is the law of assumption a real force that governs existence, or just wishful thinking dressed in spiritual jargon? Let's tear through the nonsense and get to the truth. This video isn't just about understanding the law of assumption. This is about realizing its power to reshape your reality, to break free from the chains that bind you to a life you don't truly want, and finally, to step into your own power. Let me tell you something. Reality is not what you think it is. It's a construct, a fluid manifestation of the energy you are vibrating at. And this energy, this consciousness, your consciousness is the key. But you already knew that, didn't you? Somewhere deep inside, you've always known. Neville Goddard wasn't just talking about imagination. He wasn't just telling you to daydream. No. He was revealing a hidden truth about the universe itself. He was showing you that by assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled, by embodying that reality before it manifests in the material world, you align yourself with the very forces that shape the cosmos. And once you do that, you become unstoppable. But here's the catch. You've been trained to forget this power. You've been conditioned by society, by the media, by the very systems that profit off your ignorance to believe that you are powerless. But that's not the truth, not even close. Let's start at the beginning. Neville Goddard wasn't some casual teacher of the law of assumption. He was a trailblazer, born in Barbados in 1905. Goddard was a man who saw the world through a different lens. He didn't just take the Bible literally. He saw it as a map, a guide to unlocking the deepest mysteries of human consciousness. He saw imagination as the doorway to creation, and he recognized that the power of assumption was the most effective tool you could use to shape your life. This is where it gets deep. Neville didn't just tell you to imagine your desires. No, he told you to assume the feeling of having what you want right now. Imagine you already have it. Act as if your dream life is happening right now. How would it feel? How would you speak? How would you walk? Feel it, live it, assume it. But don't get it twisted. This isn't about passively wishing for something. This isn't about daydreaming in your spare time and waiting for a miracle to fall from the sky. This is about active engagement with the very fabric of existence. Your imagination is the fabric. Your feelings are the threads. And when you begin to weave them together, you create reality. The law of assumption is not passive. It's a conscious act. It's an ongoing process of embodying the reality you desire. Most people think manifestation is just a matter of wishing, but manifestation through assumption requires intentional action. It's about living from the end result, not wishing for it, not hoping for it, not waiting for it to come, but acting from it. You have to feel it. You have to assume it. You know those moments when everything seems to fall into place. The times when you feel like the universe is responding to you, as if it's been waiting for your command. That's the power of assumption in action. When your assumptions align with your emotions, reality has no choice but to bend to your will. Think about this. As a child, you saw the world with wide eyes. You didn't ask permission to dream. You didn't hesitate before imagining that you could fly, that unicorns existed, or that you could move mountains with your mind. But somewhere along the way, you were told to grow up. You were told to stop dreaming, to stop imagining, to stop assuming that the world could bend to your will. They taught you to be small. The law of assumption is your rebellion against that conditioning. It's you reclaiming your power and saying, no, I am the creator of my own world. I am not a passive participant. I am the architect. So let's break this down. What exactly is the law of assumption? At its core, it is the understanding that your beliefs shape your reality. It's the recognition that when you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you align yourself with the energy necessary to make that reality appear. Assumption is the soil, and your desire is the seed. You must plant it, nourish it with your imagination, and allow it to grow. But why does this work? Why is assumption so powerful? It's because the universe responds to vibration. Everything you think, feel, and believe sends out a frequency into the field of consciousness. This is not some abstract concept. It's science. Your thoughts, your emotions, your energy all send out signals that interact with the quantum field, and those signals influence the probabilities of your reality. You don't need to wait for the world to change. You change the world with your assumptions. But let's be real for a second. This is where most people get it wrong. They treat the law of assumption like a casual suggestion, like a wish for it and it will happen kind of thing. But this isn't passive. It's not wishful thinking. It's active creation. Think of it like this. If you were building a house, you wouldn't just hope that it would magically appear. You would act on your assumption that the house is already in the process of being built. You'd choose the location. You'd lay the foundation. You'd get the tools. You'd organize the materials. And every action you took would be in line with the assumption that your house is already under construction. The same applies to your life. This is not about waiting for things to happen. This is about becoming the version of yourself that already has what you want. You do not need to hope for financial success. You do not need to wish for love. You need to assume it is already happening. Then live as if it is happening. This is the key. Your emotions are the magnetic force that pulls your assumptions into reality. When you feel the emotions of having already achieved your goal, you align with the frequency of that goal. The universe has no choice but to respond. And this is where most people fail. They skip the emotional part. They think it's enough to visualize or affirm something. But without the feeling, without the emotional charge, the assumption remains an intellectual exercise. The emotional energy is the catalyst. It's the fuel that drives the process forward. The power of assumption isn't just about thinking differently. It's about feeling differently. Feel the joy, the excitement, the peace, the abundance you would feel if your desires were already fulfilled. Feel it now. Live in that feeling. Hold it. And soon, reality has no choice but to meet you there. So, how do you apply the law of assumption to your life? Start by clarifying what you want. Get specific. Write it down. Your desires are the map, and assumption is the compass. Without clarity, you wander aimlessly. Then, affirm the reality you want. But don't just say, I will have financial success. Say, I am already successful. Claim it. Own it. Act as if it's already true. Now visualize your desire as if it has already manifested. See it. Feel it. Taste it. Experience it with all your senses, and do it from a first-person perspective, through your own eyes. Make it real in your mind. And remember, the more intense your feelings, the more potent your assumption becomes. Next, live from the end. Don't wait for the world to change. You are the world. Live as if your desires are already fulfilled. Make decisions, take actions, and walk with the assumption that your reality is already aligned with your goals. Now here's where most people fail. Consistency. You have to keep affirming, visualizing, and living from the end. Over time, these assumptions become ingrained in your subconscious mind, and reality begins to shift in response. But don't expect it overnight. Persistence is the key. Keep going, even when the world tells you it's not working. Stay steady, stay committed, and let the universe work on your behalf. Finally, detach from the how. You don't need to figure out the path. You just need to assume that the path will appear. Trust the process. Let the universe orchestrate the details. And when doubts creep in, and they will, revise. Every time you notice a conflicting thought or belief, revise it. Refuse to accept anything that doesn't align with your assumption. When you apply the law of assumption, you are not a passive observer in your life. You are the creator. Your mind is the field, and your assumptions are the seeds. Plant them, water them, live them, and watch your world transform. I wish you all the best. And until next time.